Today's lesson, the law of sines. The goal is to use the law of sine or the sine rule to solve for an unknown angle of an oblique triangle. So we'll be asked to find the missing angle of an oblique triangle. That is a triangle that is not a right angle. You see here, it means none of the angles are 90 degrees. And the law of sines can be written in this form: sine angle A over sine angle B, sine angle C over side C. So that's angle A over side A, angle B over side B, or angle C over side C. It also could be written in a different form. We could also write it as the side A over sine angle A, side B over sine angle B, or side C over sine angle C. So because we are trying to find the angle, we will use this form here. We have the angle over the side. Now, just to recall, whenever we are labeling, and that's the first thing we'll do after reading a question, is to label the sides of a triangle. So in this case here, we always, because we're trying to find one angle, but we must be given a pair. We need an angle and a side. So for example, we need the angle on the side of, if you look at this example here, we need one angle and a side, or we call a matching pair for this to work. So in this case, to label the sides, the side is always labeled the lowercase letter to the angle. So here we have angle A, be side A. We have angle B, side B, which is opposite the angle. So this is my angle here. And notice it's in lowercase. The side is written in lowercase letter. So in today's lesson, we'll be looking at 3 examples to show how we can find the unknown angle of a non-right angle triangle. So the first question, example 4, you're given an oblique triangle, meaning none of the angles are 90 degrees. And you asked to find a theta, this angle here. Now, refer to our equation, our sine law equation. You have sine A, angle A over side A, sine angle B over sine B. We don't need to use the third one. You just need 2 ratios, 2 equivalent ratios. In this case, we use sine angle A over A, sine angle B over B. So we will write that down here. We have sine The next step, we would like to label. So step 1, we have our formula. And the step would be label the triangle. Get sides and angle. Sides and angle. So it's easier to label the unknown or the angle we are trying to find as A. And therefore, the side opposite to the angle would be side A. Then we look for a matching pair. and that will be angle B and side B. So there's a matching pair here. So this is your pair. So this would be side B, this would be angle B. So our next step is to record what's given and what's need to be found. So given angle B, which is 60 degrees, side B, 36 kilometers, and side A, 27. And we'll ask to find theta, which is angle A. Next step, we substitute our given into our sine rule. So here we have sine A, which we don't know. That is our unknown. So we can record that as theta. Over side B, which is 36. Oh, that will be 27. Which is side A. Is equal to sine angle B, which is 60 degrees, over, in this case, we have 36. Now, the reason why it's much easier to record your formula sine angle over side is because your algebra now becomes very, very much simpler. Now, all what you have to do is we want to get rid of 27 kilometers from the denominator. We just multiply it on the right side. And to prove what I'm trying to do here, I'll show you the reasoning. So we have sine theta is equal to 27, equal to sine 60 over 36. Now I want to get rid of this 27, so I can isolate the sine theta. That's my unknown. I need to isolate my unknown. So multiply by the reciprocal, which is 27 over 1. And we also must multiply 27 over 1. So 27 over 27 is 1. So I have sine theta is equal to, now we could write 27 in front of the sine 60. So we can So now we'll use our calculator. So I'm going to go to my calculator here. Now notice I need to find the angle. So I have to use my inverse button. Now, I like to put a bracket around these. So what you'll do now is to press your second button because we need to find the angle. So we're finding angle. So we have to use a second or inverse button. So second sine. So 27 sine 60 close bracket divided by open bracket. So put that here. and I press enter. So give me a measurement of, so theta is 40.51 degrees. So this is the interesting part here. Whenever we're finding the angle, we have to use the inverse button, or in this calculator is a second button. Some calculators you'll see the INV button, meaning the to be inverse INV. It's the same as the second button. Now, so step one in finding the missing angle of an oblique triangle is to label the sides and angles of a triangle, A and B. Then record our sine rule. And since we're finding the angle, we want to sine angle A over side A, sine angle B over side B as a form. Then we substitute the given values into our equation and solve for the angle. When we solve for the angle, we have to use the second or the inverse button sign. Then you input the values given. Now, I just want to show you what if you were to do this separately. And in some calculators, you may not have the brackets there. So if you don't, this is what you'll have to do. You have to do these separately. So we have sine theta is now 27 sine 60 over 36. So if I were to do 27 sine 60, which is 23.3826859. Notice it's an irrational number. Now I divide that by 36. And I have sine theta is equal to 0.6495. Goes up. Now I'll press my second button, sine, and this value here, 6, equal. Now that is if you do not have a calculator with lots of brackets in it. So, and now we'll up a second, sine, and then put that as my answer. I'll end up with the same result. Okay, let's look at example 5. In example 5, it's very similar to example 4. So the first step we will do is to label, so step 1. Now, since we are using sine A over angle, sine A equals sine B over sine B, we will label our missing angle A, or the one we were trying to find. This will be side B, side A, angle B, side B. This would be side angle C, side C. But it's irrelevant for this question because we're not asked to find the angle C. Step 2, record what's given. This needs to be found. So we're given angle B, side B, and side A. And we have to find theta. Step 3, record our formula, sine theta over A, sine B over B. Then we substitute our given into our sine rule. We don't know theta, that's what we're finding. We know A is 62. Sine 33 over 39. Now, as in our previous question, we isolate the sine by multiplying 62 on both sides. So we have sine theta 62 multiplied by 62 over 1. So I'm left with sine theta is 62 sine. It's much simpler to move the 62 in front of the sine 33. You can leave it as it is, but you'll have to use a bracket to isolate the two. Now use my calculator. I'll have to use my second. Sine, open bracket, 62, 33, close bracket, divided by 39. I'll show you how it's done in a calculator. Just a reminder, you have to be in degree mode. You see here, degree mode. Second sine, 62 sine 33, close bracket. I need to close that bracket because you don't want it to be part of a different computation. Divided by 39. Close bracket. Press enter. And this gives me theta is 59.98 degrees. I'm rounding to 2 decimal places. So theta here is 59.98 degrees. For a third example, here we have, let's draw a line through this to separate the question. So step 1, we'll label sides and angles. So angle A, side A, angle B, side B. This side's angle C, side C. Record what's given. What needs to be what you're finding. So we're asked to find angle A, so we give an angle B. Just remember, to use a sine rule, you need a matching, what do you call a matching pair? If you do not have a matching pair, we'll have to use a different rule, the cosine rule, which we'll be looking at the next lesson. So always look out for these. You need a matching pair. We have side B, which is 51 meters. Then we have side A, which is 79. Specify angle A, which is theta. Sine theta. Then we substitute what's given and write it here. Side A, 79, sine 28 degrees over B, 51. Now, just a reminder, do not forget to record your sine word. Do not just write 28 degrees, record your sine. That will remind you that you need to input that into your calculator. Because it's easy to not include it and you'll have a total different calculation, which might be incorrect. So now we have sine theta, give me 79 sine 28 over 51. Now we'll use our calculator, which second sine, open bracket. So let's work it through the calculator here. We have, you press your second button, sine, open bracket, 79. We just don't need a double open bracket there. So 79 sine. That's why I reminded you to record the word sine in your sine rule to remind you to input that into your calculator. Sine 28. In my case, I need to close bracket. I'll do a double close. And then divide that by I don't have to use another bracket here, but it wouldn't hurt. In this case, I will not. 28. And I press my enter button. Notice I get an error in my calc. Now, if you're using a graphing calculator and you have an error, I've inputted something incorrectly, so I go back here, and I notice I have a bracket there. So I'll have to re-input this. So second sine 79 sine 28 close bracket divided by. Now notice this is wrong. So I inputted something incorrectly here, because what will happen if I put 28 here, I have a larger value here, which means it's incorrect. So my calculator gave me an error. So the calculator reminds me, so this should be 51. And now gives me a result of 46.65 degrees. So theta equals 46.65 degrees. I'll record it here. So let's recap. Whenever we ask to find the missing angle of an oblique triangle, and a right angle triangle, step one, we label the sides of the angles. And to use the sine law, we need a matching set. In other words, an angle and the side opposite that angle. If we do not have a matching set, in other words, an angle and its opposite side given to us, if these are not given, we cannot use the sine law. In a subsequent lesson, we'll look at the cosine law, and that's what we will be using, the cosine law, whenever we're not given an angle and its opposite side. Or we'll have to do it indirectly. So in this case, we're given that matching pair, and we have to find the missing angle. So we label the sides, and to make it easy to work through the algebra, we label the unknown sides, or the sine, unknown angle. The angle we need to find is A. And the side opposite that angle will be labeled A. Then we labeled the given angle B, and its opposite on its side as side B. We substitute those values into our sine rule, and we solve using algebra and our calculator. And remember, because we're finding the angle, we have to use the inverse button, the second button in most calculators.